For the past few weeks, we've been talking about the Hall of Fame, and there hasn't been a lot of announcements since last week, I believe. And we were going to do this earlier, but I was just trying to see if there was any other inductees for the pay-per-view, but there wasn't. But there is a big name going into the Hall of Fame, and it is actually someone I wasn't expecting. It was Rikishi. Now, we talked about earlier about Rikishi being in the Rumble in 2001 with the whole Stone Cold thing, just trying to make a point there. But Rikishi is an interesting pick for the Hall of Fame, just because he inducted someone last year. I don't remember who. I think it was Yokozuna, or it wasn't Yokozuna. He inducted somebody. I believe it was Yokozuna, but I think it was for other reasons. But I don't remember exactly when he did this. But I believe it was for Yokozuna on his behalf, I think, which was an interesting pick in itself. But this man has had a hell of a career. This man, back from the New Generation era, and people that actually vote, remember that. God bless you, because that was a weird era in wrestling. It was a great era in wrestling, but it was very weird with all kinds of weird gimmicks as well. But he came under he was part of not the head shrinkers, but no, it was the head shrinkers, but they were the Samoan SWAT team or something like that before. They were the head shrinkers though, but they were the Samoan SWAT team, Fatu and Samu. I believe there's another person as well. I don't remember who, but he did win the tag team titles at that point. But it was interesting because you had two great people in the corner of Rikishi, or at that time Fatu, which was I believe Wild Samoan Afa, who was in the Hall of Fame, and Captain Lou Albano, who was also in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest managers of all time, one of the greatest talkers of all time. But it was interesting because he came back. Oh, and the other head shrinker was Sione. Now I remember, it was Sione, Samu, and Fatu. But he did have a stint as the very unforgettable, just because of his size, the fucking, what was he? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. The Sultan. He was the Sultan. And it was fucking great, because everyone knew it was fucking Rikishi. No, but I believe, I'm trying to remember the perspective of Rikishi. He came from the Samoans, and then he was the Making a Difference man, and then he came out of nowhere, and then he was the Sultan, which was fucking great, because then he was with two more Hall of Famers, the Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund, as a manager and a trainer, which was fucking great, having the Sheik as a fucking manager. But most people remember him as the big man in Too Cool with Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hotty. But most people do remember him for the Stink Face, which is very interesting, because I know how I just want to say something right quick about the whole butt bump thing the Usos do and say it's part of Rikishi's thing. It is part of Rikishi's moveset, but I remember it with Umaga. I don't know why, that's the first thing that comes out of my head, because Umaga did it almost every week. Rikishi, I don't think he did it every week, but Rikishi, most people know him as the Stink Face and the man who ended Mr. McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club on SmackDown, which was a great moment as well. But, I mean, former Intercontinental Champion, former 10-inch champion, and the man who did it for The Rock. If you don't know what I mean, there's a network that's, what is it, free this month, $9.99, whatever the fuck it is. You can relive all those moments. But the question is, will The Rock induct Rikishi and do it for Rikishi? The roles will be reversed eventually. I don't know when, if that will happen, but the Hall of Fame is the night before WrestleMania, and we'll see what happens then.